Hi there, good afternoon. You've tuned into ET now, and this is Market Fatafat with me, Cheryl D'Souza. Along with me, as always, I have Vinny Motiwala. Very good afternoon to you, Vinny. And markets actually now in the second half of the trading session has picked up steam. You had Nifty that has hit a fresh 2023 high. Nifty is surpassed, rather I could say kissing distance from 18,700 mark. Remember, we've not breached that level since December. So yes, a crucial level to watch out for the Nifty. Let's take a look at what Nifty Bank is doing, because that one was underperforming the benchmark indices. It did slip into the negative territory a wee bit, but now it is trying to make a comeback. Nevertheless, it's trading flat with a positive bias as we speak. The broader markets, they are the one who are actually showing the strength and leading the way ahead. Your small cap index that's seeing gains of upwards of about 1% as we speak. Your mid cap index that's trading higher by about 0.9%. If you look at what the advanced decline ratio is looking like, it is very much tilted in the favor of the gains right now. And Vinny, if you look at the sectoral indices, all the sectors are in the positive territory. So hopefully 2 hours of trading session left and we will shut shop in the green.
Absolutely. Hoping for that green staying on the markets as of now, and the Nifty as well going forward. But on that note, let's get started with all those stocks that are buzzing in trade, either on the back of news flows or on technicals. And today on the technicals, we are joined by Sameet Mulchhandani, while from the research team, we have Ashish as well as Harsh joining in with us. A very good afternoon to all three of y'all, and good afternoon to you as well, Cheryl. But I'm going to be starting with the first couple of stocks that are in focus. And Cheryl, you did mention the FMCG pack, so I'm going to start with that, because we have top Nifty 50 gainers coming in from the FMCG pack. That's Nestle as well as Britannia. Now, when you look at both these stocks, what has actually happened? They're trading at almost the all-time high. Intraday, they touched an all-time high around those levels as of now as well. What are the key positive triggers when you see coming in for these two stocks specifically? Is that, let's not forget palm oil prices that has started coming down as well and back to near a year's low, which is a positive for Britannia as well as Nestle. Considerable amount of the raw material cost comes in from the palm oil prices as well as even wheat prices. Now, as of now, when you look at it, wheat prices have not seen much of an up move as much as they had in the last quarter as well. We've seen a sharp run up. Right now, they have remained stable as well. So what the highlight is coming in, and Nuvama is still maintaining a buy on this one. They're remaining positive on Britannia as well as Nestle for a 1-year perspective as well. And the wheat crop that has come in terms of the initial expectations versus the initial expectations, it's much better, and it's higher than what was last year as well. So obviously we could be seeing some maybe cool off coming in terms of wheat prices is the highlight coming in terms of Nuvama. And let's not forget key raw material prices seeing a bit of a cool off. That could work out well for both Britannia as well as Nestle in terms of gross margin recovery going forward as well. Both these stocks buzzing away in trade. Britannia up 4%, Nestle up 2.9% as of now.
Alright, so that's the FMCG pack and why they are buzzing in today's trading session. But let's talk about Insecticide India, and this particular counter is a buzz in today's trading session. Last time I checked, it was trading higher by about 3.5%. Now it's a tad bit subdued from those levels. Rather, it's come off from those levels, but nevertheless, a sharp gain, fourth consecutive day of gains coming in for that particular counter. The company said that along with Oat Agrio, the company has been granted patent entitled substitute pyrazole derivatives and insecticides and fungicide by the government's patent office. So on back of that patent approval that is coming in from the government, you can see insecticide is trading higher by about 2.8% as we speak.
Okay, Sumit, let's move on to the first stock that you have picked out for us today, and that is Rossari Biotech. On the charts, what are the indications that you're picking up for this one? Is it a good time to still enter the stock?
Hi, good afternoon all. So yes, it is a buy signal, we can say. The stock from 1600 levels to 500 almost, it has given a strong downside. So now, but it is a good candidate of the rebound. So we are having a good breakout also, and the stock is trading above all the moving averages. Day before yesterday, it gave a close above the 200 moving average, and today also the stock is in good up move. So we are expecting a good upside till the levels of 1000 and 1200. If anybody has already bought in the dips or any fresh buying, so keep a stop loss of 690 here.
So that's the view coming in on Rossari Biotech. Moving on, Harsh, let's talk about ICICI Lombard. Is it only ICICI Lombard they're going to talk about, or the entire insurance pack?
Oh yeah, absolutely, Cheryl. So let's look at the entire insurance pack as a whole. And in terms of the general insurers, the kind of numbers that they are posting, strong set of numbers, 18% growth overall in the industry. And what we're seeing within the private pack though is that they are growing at 21%, while the public sector pack is growing at only 12 to 13%. So clearly losing market share there versus the private pack. But let's specifically zoom in on ICICI Lombard and try and understand what's happening there in specific. So we're seeing that ICICI Lombard has posted a strong set of numbers, a solid 16% growth in the month of May versus the 12% in April. And what we are seeing is that, or rather 12% last May, so on a base of 12%, it's grown 16%. In fact, in April, the growth was extremely solid at, almost 23%. So what we're seeing is that motor for ICICI Lombard is largely flat, but retail health is growing fairly quickly, 23% growth in retail health. And what we're also seeing is that the strong growth is sustaining after April's strong numbers as well. So on the back of that, you can see the stock is up and buzzing.
Okay, keeping an eye out on those insurance names and specifically ICICI Lombard as well. Ashesha, coming to you, Torrent Power, this one also is in focus. I believe there's some order win or something coming in here.
Well, yes, absolutely. In fact, the stock hit an all-time high in today's trading session on an intraday basis. The stock, in fact, is surging as much as 7.5% as we speak. This after the company informed the exchanges that they've signed a memorandum of understanding with the government of Maharashtra for hydro projects of a capacity of about 5,700 megawatt. The company said in its press release that they are now entering the storage solution space with an initial investment of about 27,000 crores. The company intends to execute these projects over a period of next 5 years. On the back of this MOU that the company has entered into with the government of Maharashtra, the stock is surging in trade today.
All right, that's Torrent Power, that's soaring in trade, and that's the news pay why the stock is running in today's trading session. But Sumeet, do you think that this powering ahead or by Torrent Power will continue?
Yes, there is a strong weekly breakout on the charts also. So for next 3 months, we are expecting targets of 720 and 790. So if anybody is there for the short term and already bought at the lower level, we would advise to book some quantity, as today the stock is a gap up and already running with the 8 to 9% profit in intraday only. So might be there can be some profit booking. So a short term or the trader can book some quantity here as already trading in the overbought zone.
Move on and talk about IIP Industries. This one is buzzing in trade. Why? Because we saw a block deal that happened yesterday. Now we've seen the stock has actually jumped as much as 5% intraday today. As of now, yes, given up those gains, still holding on to gains of almost 2.5%. But who is the buyer of this? When we saw it coming in, 0.74% stake is bought by Society General. They bought around 3 lakh shares in the company at an average price of around 800 rupees per share via an open market. So on the back of this news flow, we have seen that IIP Industries is buzzing in trade, holding on to gains of around 2.5% as well as of now.
All right, let's move on and let's talk about RailTel. Sumeet, how is this one looking on the charts to you? This has been a buzz of late. So do you think that this sort of an up move will sustain for RailTel going ahead?
From 100 to 130 level, the stock has given a good move already, and afterwards it was in the consolidation phase. But a fresh moment has been seen, and fresh breakout in the flag and pole pattern is there. So we are expecting a good upside moment till the 148, 163 levels. So can be accumulated till the dips. Here near the zone of the 120, all the moving averages are there. So 120 will act as a strong support. So any dip can be utilized and you can accumulate the stock.
All right, moving on, let's talk about Sonata Software then, and that particular counter was trading higher by approximately 3% last time I checked. The company has announced a strategic partnership with e-commerce platform SAP Commerce. SAP Commerce will be integrated with Sonata Software's digital commerce expertise to provide end-to-end e-commerce solutions. The partnership will enable the company to expand their offerings and reach a broader customer base across various geographies. That's the word coming in from the management of Sonata Software. So on back of that particular deal, we saw the stock trading higher at open. From there on, has given up some of those gains, still trading positive with 1.5% uptick.
Okay, let's move on and talk about Suzlon on the charts then, Sumeet. What are the levels that you should be keeping an eye out on for Suzlon from here on?
After the news regarding the company got the new project, the stock has shoot up like a rocket only. So if anybody grab the opportunity to buy at the lower levels near the levels of 9, so would advise to book some quantity here, as on the weekly and the daily time frame it is in the overbought zone. But if anybody has a higher time frame view, then one can hold with the stop loss of 12, and for upside we can expect the levels of 16 and 20 also.
Alright, so that's the word coming in for Suzlon. But Harsh, Nika, why is this one in focus?
Well, Morgan Stanley, they've come out with a swathe of notes, and one of them is on Nika. What they're expecting is faster growth in the BPC, which is the beauty and personal care segment, where GMV is quite solid. When we look at the company's plans to add new stores, it's going to be around 50 new stores for this particular year. You're looking at gross margins in the fashion segment, which is going to be higher than the BPC segment going forward. That's what MS is expecting. And margin drivers include lower marketing expenses as well as rising ad incomes. What you're also seeing is that attrition was normal in the business scenario, and churn rates are lower than in the larger industry. So on the back of that, currently MS is positive. In fact, they are overweight on Nika with a target price of 188. So a very solid upside to the current market price, stock buzzing to up 1%.
Aisha Motors, you've picked out this one for us today. What's the news flow?
Well, yes, this one is also on the back of a Morgan Stanley note that has come in this morning. They've maintained their equal weight stance on the stock. In fact, they've given a target price of 3,353 rupees per share, which is much below the current market price. They say they expect the company to report continued growth in the domestic market, and as far as their distribution network is concerned, they expect RE to recover. As far as its distribution network is concerned, market recovery will be aided by higher volumes going forward. RE's share of first-time buyers improved from 13% to 18% over the last few years. They are committed to launch their first EV in FY26, and Hunter has also been able to garner good traction from customers. So on the back of this report that has come in, the stock is in focus today, although the target price is much below the current market price.
Alright, moving on. Sumeet, let's talk about Ambuja Cement. We know all the cement counters have been seeing a very good run of late. Ambuja Cement, do you think that this one will continue to move higher or consolidate?
Yes, the cement stocks are buzzing from last few sessions, and Ambuja has almost given 15% return in last 8 to 10 sessions. So, but overall the view is still the positive. 480 and 520 will be the next levels which we are eyeing. But if any trader is there, today the stock is facing a resistance at the 200 moving average. So if any trader is there, we would advise to book some profit or trail with a strict stop loss.
Okay, let's move on. Keep an eye out on Ambuja Cements. But talking about the next one, we have KPI Green that is in focus. The company has received a letter of intent from private players to develop around 40 megawatt hybrid green energy project, and this is in Gujarat. Now the capacity includes 21.50 megawatt of wind and 18.5 megawatt of solar is what the company's press release highlighted. Other than that, KPI Green has received a new, this is the new largest single letter of intent for executing the wind and solar hybrid power project from Anupam Rasayan. This is in Surat, obviously, like I mentioned, in Gujarat, and the captive power producer business is where they've received the order in this segment as well. So let's keep an eye out on this one, because it's a significant milestone for the company in showcasing the strong position in the renewable energy market. Today, as of now, you look at it, the stock is up 1.73% in trade.
All right, moving on, Sumeet, Sudarshan Chemicals, how is this one looking on the charts to you?
2 weeks prior only we advised this stock and advised to buy to take a buy position for the target of 500. So yesterday only the stock has achieved the target and still it is looking good. So we are expecting the higher levels of also 580 and 625. So just trail your SL to 460 and keep hold on this stock.
The spotlight then on Rail Vikas Nigam. If you look at the counter, at one point in time it was trading higher by about 9.7% or so, and this on back of multiple block deals that took place earlier in the day. About 47.2 lakh shares that changed hands in 8 block deals, and that the block deal price was between 121.4 to 130.95 rupees per share. So post this block deal, you saw the stock soar in trade. 9%, upwards of 9% is what it had touched on an intraday basis, and it's on track for a third consecutive session of gains. So that's Rail Vikas Nigam buzzing on back of block deals.
Okay, let's move on and talk about Anupam Rasayan on the charts then. Sumeet, what are we understanding from this one in terms of the charts? What is the expectation in terms of up move? Today the stock is down almost 1.5%. Last 1 month also it's seen a bit of a decline. So, given this small bit of a correction that we're seeing coming in, is it the right time to enter the stock now?
We have the two views here. So if today it is trading nearby the 50 moving average, and it has been told that it is a support area. So 1070 can be a make or break area. So if the stock is trading or giving a close below, we would just advise to exit the stock at the current price. The stock has already ran from 600 to 1200 in only 3 to 4 months. So keep an eye on this 1070. If the stock is showing some rebound or the positive candle here, it can start again the moving, but 1070 break can take a downside till the 1000 level. So to save money is to earn money, so better to exit here.
Alright, moving on, Harsh, Bank of Baroda. Why is this one the spotlight today?
On the back of a brokerage note, Cheryl, what we're seeing is Morgan Stanley being quite bullish on Bank of Baroda. What they're suggesting is loan growth continues to be robust. 14% is the expectation, or 1 to 2% higher than even the system loan growth. That's what they are, expecting Bank of Baroda to do. What they are expecting in terms of within the loans, they are expecting growth in retail, MSME, while the overseas loan, which grew quite strongly in all through FY23, is expected to moderate in FY24. They are expecting margins to remain above FY23 levels, so that's a positive, and they are expecting a product mix shift to happen towards the higher margin segment. Again, both retail and SME, both higher margin there for Bank of Baroda. You're also looking at non-staff costs to moderate over the next 2 to 3 years, which should aid profitability for the bank. And of course, the key being the ECL provisioning and probably the norms coming out in FY24. What Morgan Stanley believes is there's an exposure of 150 basis points, 1.5% of loans from ECL provisioning. So keep an eye out on that. Bullish on Bank of Baroda with a target price of 240. Solid upside expected from Morgan Stanley.
Okay, keeping an eye out on that one. Let's move on and talk about Sanofi on the chart, Sumit. This one has moved up in the last just 3 months when you look at it from the lows of around 5,400. Today the stock is trading around the 7,150 mark. What is the upside that one should be expecting here? Because a sharp run-up is already seen. Do you think it's time for some bit of a correction or maybe a further run-up?
Both the scenarios are there. Today the stock is facing the resistance of the 200 moving average, that is a level of 7170. So but the candles are still bullish. So if it is giving us the close, next target can be 8,400 levels. So keep a hold on this stock and one can trail. The stock has made a strong base near the 5,500 and given the breakout above the 6,000 levels. So keep a stop loss of 6,400 here and hold for the 8,000.
That's the take coming in on Sanofi. Let's move on and let's talk about our Systems International, and that particular counter is in focus on back of an acquisition that they've done today. If you look at the company, they have actually announced that they have signed a definitive agreement to acquire Velocio. If you look at the stock price, it actually rose by as much as 3% at one point in time. the company said that with the acquisition, Kalpak Shah, who is a co-founder CEO of Velocio, and Chirag Jog, who is the co-founder and CTO of Velocio, along with the rest of the team, will partner with our systems to help scale Velocio's business, develop its engineering capabilities, and accelerate its growth. This is what the company has informed in their exchange filing, and the acquisition amount is for 279 crore rupees. So that's the reason why you have our systems that is buzzing in today's trading session.
Let's move on and talk about AngelOne on the charts then. Sumeet, what are the indications that you're getting in from this one? Last 1 month, you've surely seen that recovery coming in AngelOne. Is that here to stay?
In the March month, the stock has made a double bottom and shown the good movement from the levels of 1000 to 1300 levels. And afterwards, it was in the consolidation zone. But from last 2-3 days, it has shown a good movement with the volume also. So we are seeing a fresh breakout, trendline breakout. Along with that, it is a inverted head and shoulders breakout also. And the positive thing is it has given the consecutive days closing above the level of 1350. So we are expecting the 1745 and 1915 in the next 3 to 4 months. So would advise to accumulate all the dips, and in the current market price also one can buy the stock. Here one can keep a stop loss of 1290 for the fresh buying, or if anybody is holding.
Aisha, Havells, why is this one in the spotlight today?
This counter is also in focus on the back of a brokerage note that has come in. JP Morgan, in fact, is maintaining its neutral stance on the stock, and they've given a target price of 1285 rupees per share. The stock currently, of course, trades at 1350 odd levels, and JP Morgan says that B2B demand continues to remain strong. However, B2C demand is weak in the current quarter. Summer demand, meanwhile, for fans and ACs has begun on a muted note due to unseasonal rains that we saw across India in the last couple of quarters. Lloyd business model is in better shape, however. As far as raw material pricing is concerned, they say raw material prices have been benign, and better mix will help drive operating margins back to pre-COVID levels for the company. So on the back of this note that has come in from JP Morgan, the stock is in focus today. Important to note that the stock has been buzzing for the last many trading sessions. In fact, for the last many months. Year to date, the stock is up 22%, and in the last 1 month alone, the stock is up 7%. Today, of course, on the back of brokerage note, the stock is in focus.
An eye out on Havells. But viewers, on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break. But as we go into a break, let's settle into what Ridham Desai, MD at head of India Equity Research at Morgan Stanley, had to say on the Indian markets, the Indian economy. Where does he expect it to reach? Let's go across and listen in.
But when I look at what my co-strategists are forecasting for their respective markets, I think we still have a return expectation on India that is largely higher than all of them. So I think we can expect a pretty strong return for the rest of the year going into next year, maybe in double digits. And I think it is possible that the market walks into 2024 and starts pricing in a majority government. And if that happens, then I think we will witness pretty strong conditions for the equity markets, at least until some signs of where the election results are going come through. Anyway, there are a lot of risks on the horizon. We have to first deal with the immediate weather problems that we may face, the prospects of an El Nino and depressed rainfall. As such, I don't think that will have an impact on the economy unless the rains are really bad, something like 15% below normal, which is not the current forecast by any agency. But we have to keep a watch on that. We also have to keep a watch on how global growth pans out. There have been steep increases in interest rates over the past few months, and there will be impact on global growth. While at Morgan Stanley, we don't think the Western Hemisphere is slipping into recession, growth is going to be pretty sluggish, and our fourth quarter 2023 GDP growth forecast for developed markets is like 0.5%. India exports more than 20% of its output, so there will be some effect of that, and growth is likely to be slower than last year, as is evidenced by our forecast.